This Shabbos we have two Parshas, the Parshas of Tazria and the Parsha of Metzora. Much of Parshas Tazria and almost all of Metzora discuss the laws of tzaras. What is tzaras? Well, let's focus on just one of the types, tzaras of the skin. If a person has committed one of the sins involved with one's fellow man, how one conducts himself with one's fellow man, for instance, slander, lashon hara, arrogance, and a person is feeling above others, again causing rifts between human beings, between fellow Jews. Then in the times of the temple there was a spiritual sickness, so to say, basically a physical manifestation of a person's sin. If a person sinned, then his skin became afflicted with this spot on his skin. If verified as actual tzaras by the Kohen, who was the only person who was authorized to verify that the tzaras was actually tzaras, then the person would be sent out of the camp. In other words, he'd have to live outside, on the outskirts of wherever the Jews were settled. And when people would pass by, when other Jews would pass by, he would have to call out, Tameh, Tameh, I am impure, I am impure, warning people to stay away from him, because he was tameh, he had been spiritually contaminated because of the tzaras, because of the spot on his skin. From here the Shalal learns, Shalal was a commentator on the Chumash, on the verse, and he says that from here we learn a principle in life. This person who spoke lashon hara, who spoke slander about someone else, he said something negative, and he said someone else was contaminated, so to say. He said someone else, there was an issue with someone else. Now, because of that, he is sent out of the camp, he is sent away from the people, and now he has to call out that he himself is contaminated. This shows you, as the Gemara says, kol paisel b'mumo paisel. Anybody who looks to label others in negative ways is actually those negative traits that he is describing others as having is really he himself has them. And the Shalal says even that if a person is not sure how to confront and how to figure out where he is lacking, he should look to where he finds others are lacking, because that is exactly where he probably has his own very own issue. That we see from the Metzora, from the person who has contracted tzaras, who because of his labeling others as quote-unquote contaminated and speaking lashon hara and slandering others and feigning arrogance and feeling above others for specific reasons, those specific reasons that he has to now call out and confess that he himself, he has those character traits that he has attributed to others. There is another type of tzaras called tzaras habayis. The tzaras, the spot that is found on the house. If a person finds a spot on his house and it's verified again by the Kohen as being tzaras, bona fide tzaras, then he has to demolish his house. Now, from a general reference, Rashi learns from the verse, and it's really a Gemara and a Medrash, that this verse that talks about tzaras of the house, which as we said results in demolition of the house, is a good tiding. The language used there refers to something that is happy. The issue, of course, is that if it's destroying your house, what's happy about that? So Rashi immediately says that tzaras of the house was very special because in Israel, the previous inhabitants of Israel, the Canaanim, hid behind their walls gold and silver. As a result, when a person had tzaras of the house and he had to break down the walls of his house, guess what he found? He found gold and silver. So actually it was happy in the end that a person was able to become wealthy from breaking down his house, and that's why the verse states that the breaking down of the house, the tzaras of the house, is the happy ending. The issue is very basic. If God wished to grant riches to the Jewish people, why did it have to be in this very destructive manner? That a person had to demolish his house only to find the gold and silver behind the walls. Why didn't he just tell the Jewish people that was behind the walls? Or, I don't know, make their businesses successful? Why was this the way Hashem decided to grant the Jewish people wealth? Obviously there's something more here. And what is the rest of the story? Have a great Shabbos.